My name is Gabby and I live in one of the most haunted places in the world. So let's talk about it. But first, welcome to my channel. I've been wanting to do this for as long as I can remember. I'm really honoring my inner child here. So if you, like me, are obsessed with all things paranormal, be sure to subscribe, like, comment, do all the things. Make sure your notifications are on so you don't miss any new videos. So I recently moved to Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, which has always been a special place for me. I grew up not too far from here, and I just have been so interested in the history of Gettysburg and my own familial connections to Gettysburg. I had, I don't know how many greats, but a great grandfather who fought in the Civil War, was part of the 16th Pennsylvania Cavalry. And I think just knowing that made me want to learn more about Gettysburg. And then actually coming here, I realized how much this place evokes my creativity. Coming here also marked the beginning of my journey with the paranormal, which has become a huge part of my life and has really coincided with my creative journey as well. I am a writer. I also host the podcast Mirrors, Horrors, History, and Hauntings. I've always felt the need to tell stories. It's just always been what I'm drawn to. And just so happens that I'm mostly drawn to stories of the dark and mysterious. But yeah, I am in this point in my life where I'm in Gettysburg, in this place that offers me so much inspiration. I'm in very close proximity to a lot of haunted locations, and I am embracing my writing and my storytelling more than I ever have. I wanted to share this part of my story with you because it's just a huge piece of who I am, and if there's any creatives listening, for all of the curious, everyone interested in hauntings and supernatural, I want you to never be shy about the things that you love and just truly embrace you and who you are. So I graduated college in May of 2024, and I spent my last semester living and interning in Los Angeles, which was just an incredible chapter of my life. I met lifelong friends there. I was interning at a podcast production company right off of Hollywood Boulevard, so I'd leave my internship and be walking on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, which was a huge manifesting moment in my mind. And it was this time to really figure out what I want and to be in it, be visualizing it actually happening for me, and really refining my goals and getting specific about them. One of the best nights of my life, I went to the Queen Mary, which is obviously one of the most haunted locations in the world. I'd heard so much about it and I wanted to go for myself. And I tell this story about walking around the ship and just being so happy and feeling so connected to myself. And that was the moment that I was like, okay, I gotta put more energy into this whole paranormal thing because it excites me like nothing else. And I grew up being the kid that asked a million questions about everything. I've always felt that natural inclination to mysteries and things that are unexplainable. And so that was just a really important moment for me in knowing what I needed to do next. My creativity has always been really rooted in place. I just feel very connected emotionally to specific places, if that makes sense. And Gettysburg has consistently been one of those places. I have spent so many days just sitting in the woods in Gettysburg, writing poetry, taking pictures, just looking around, observing, taking it all in, feeling the emotion of this land, the physicality of that emotion. So coming back from LA to graduate, I decided to just spend some time in Pennsylvania to kind of recalibrate, figure out my next steps. And I was in a very challenging point in my life, just being back at home, not knowing exactly what I was supposed to be doing, but knowing I wasn't where I was meant to be and doing what I was supposed to do. And I just felt called to move to Gettysburg. I was coming here a few times a week anyway, just because I like love this place. It's my favorite place in the whole world. So I decided to move here and to be here while I'm in this time in my life where I'm 22. I have a lot of things I am passionate about and want to accomplish, but I'm still figuring out a lot about who I am. This is kind of like a slow time in my life where I'm just really getting to know myself, really just building my routine, focusing on my own mental and physical health. And I feel like this is the place that I'm meant to be while I do that. So I'm next to the visitor center, and the Jenny Wade house is right down there. But this is the spot where my paranormal journey really began. I was walking this path with my mom. The sun had just gone down, and we got to about here, so like literally not too far from the parking lot, and she jumped and screamed and was like gone. Like she just ran back and left me standing here. And it wasn't really until I was like back at the car with her and we're like driving home that she told me that she felt somebody like put hands on her shoulders and kind of just stop her in place. And I remember like how I felt in that moment too. I just felt sort of like overcome by this energy. Like the air just ran ice cold and everything just shifted. And I obviously followed after her and we left, but I think that was the first night I really felt the energy of Gettysburg and the battlefield specifically. And it was so fascinating to me that I've been so interested in coming back here and learning as much as I possibly can. It was something my mom and I really shared in. So this spot just means a lot to me. I like to come here when I need to feel connected to it all over again. This spot was occupied by Union forces on July 1st. So obviously this was a big point in the battle, but this tree specifically, I don't know what this tree was witness to, if anything in particular happened at this tree, but a lot of the emotion and heaviness that I've witnessed here, that I've felt here, has been near this tree and on these rocks. It's like 20 degrees, which is why I'm bundled up. I also keep getting sick, so I'm trying to avoid that again, which is why I look ridiculous. But yeah, a big part of living in Gettysburg for me has been coming out to these spots as much as I can. Especially today, I was like just not in a good headspace. I was just exhausted, had a migraine, laying in bed, like doom scrolling on my phone, just not feeling it. And I decided like, okay, I'm gonna take a deep breath and get out, just go to this spot in particular, because it's a good reminder to me like what this chapter in my life means, why I'm here, and it grounds me so much. Just it's like this moment where I can really breathe and feel it all. Most days when I am having a hard day, I cope with it by just like distracting myself, by kind of shutting the world away, going on my phone, working, like just pushing through it. But I'm challenging myself at this point in my life to just like feel it, to get out, to take it all in and really heal through that. And what a place to do that in. Look at this. Must visit spot if you're in Gettysburg, right here on Cemetery Hill, and you get that view. And you'll probably find me under that tree pondering life. This place is very special because of my own personal connection to it, and just how present I feel being here. But also, what makes Gettysburg so haunted? It was the site of the Battle of Gettysburg, which went on between July 1st and 3rd of 1863. And it ended up being a critical turning point in the Civil War, which led to the Union victory It was also the bloodiest battle of the Civil War with approximately 50,000 casualties. Abraham Lincoln also gave his famous Gettysburg Address in Gettysburg. It's a very historically significant location, but beyond that, it has this just resounding heaviness from the battle and the violence and fear and trauma of that. When you're here, it just, you can feel it. It feels like the air changes, and it's hard to put it into words because it just feels like something so beyond us and unexplainable, but it is. The energy of this place is palpable, and connecting that to my creativity, it's been an interesting challenge to try to capture that in various mediums, and specifically with Gettysburg and all of the different supposed hauntings here. It's been fascinating to just delve into the history and to try to connect with that history, communicate with the people of the past through the paranormal. I've had experiences here that just have opened my mind to so many new possibilities. I have a 3-part series on my podcast about my experiences and investigations here, as well as more of the history behind the hauntings if you want to hear more about that. But I'll give you a little brief overview. I'd say one of the most profound experiences for me was one morning we're just walking the battlefield. I remember it was a chilly fall morning. There wasn't really anybody out there, and the sun had just risen, and we're standing on top of the Pennsylvania Monument. I'm just I was taking pictures, so I was just scanning around, looking around, and I saw a full body apparition of a man. Looked like he was in a Navy uniform walking. I remember so vividly seeing his arm swinging, and then he was gone. He just faded away, and it was so quick, but I remember just I was watching him, then I looked past and looked back, was wait a second, and then there's nobody there. And then a few months ago I did an investigation at the orphanage in Gettysburg. I believe the whole town of Gettysburg is haunted, so it's obviously a part of that, but there's also a lot of child abuse and neglect in that building, which has made it one of the most haunted places within the most haunted town. And I was recording for my podcast. I had my camera rolling as well. I'm walking down the steps into the orphanage basement, completely by myself. I did have a group with me, but they were far away on the other side of the building behind 2 closed doors. So no way that they could have caused this, but I'm at the bottom step. I just turned out the light, and in my footage, you hear a little girl say, "Hello," which I'll play that for you right now. I'm closing the cellar door and turning out the light. But this is just a place where you truly never know what might happen. And I just being here now and getting to connect with the town in a different way, just being here and it being my reality, and meeting locals and learning about new haunted locations that are lesser known. It's been a really, really cool experience, and I'm so happy to now have this space to bring you all along my journey. I lost my mom in July of 2023, and the paranormal has been a huge part of my grief because it just helps me feel connected to her. Beyond that, she and I would come to Gettysburg a lot. So now I now have this place to connect with her as well. We would come down here to do tours, learn about the history, go off on our own, just explore the battlefield, try using paranormal equipment, seeing if we could connect with anybody. So I see this as a continuation of something that she and I started together, which is why it's really important to me, and I am so excited to just continue getting out there, exploring and remaining open to whatever might happen. Thank you all so much for watching. I post videos every Friday, so make sure to come back next week. And again, subscribe, all the things. I will see you next time. Stay spooky.